well, not that you have to love pain and hurt and shit like that, but you have to at least be willing to deal with it and accept it, you know, because there's a lot of it comes with it, you know, so.
For sure. A lot of ups and downs.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of difficult, you know, information that you have to process and then not react to.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things, like when you're trying to start a new challenge, is not reacting too quickly.
No doubt.
Saying, well, this might be a good thing. This might work out well.
Absolutely.
When you react to everything so quickly, you really do limit yourself.
No doubt. And I think, you know, that's a really good point. You know, I think coaching yourself to the point where you're not necessarily being so reactionary, you know?
Right.
Part of it is being proactive on the front end, but learning to not react with emotion. Taking some time to process things and, you know, going from there is actually a better method, you know?
Totally.
If you react on emotion, I mean, typically you're gonna have some issues, you know? That can be problematic, you know, but...
unless it's a happy emotion. Happy emotions, you can get ahead of yourself.
Exactly, absolutely. Get in front of your skis a little bit.
Totally.
It's funny, I have a tattoo on my leg here. It says, don't expect and never assume.
Don't expect, never assume. Okay.
And I think for me, that's something that, and it's literally right here in front of me. Because I think, you know, expectations and assumptions lead to like suffering, right?
For sure.
You know, and if you can find the ability to practice not having expectations so much and not making assumptions, you can save yourself from quite a bit of suffering.
Totally.
And I think patience kind of falls under that same sort of purview. It's tough though. Again, that's something that I want to practice all the time, and I preach it, but I find it, you know, difficult. You just got to learn how to deal with the shit that does go sideways. You know, when the shit does it will. There's no doubt. But you have to be able to, you know, again, going back to the reaction side of things, don't react on emotion. Like, take a breath. And look, I'm preaching to the choir here because I still make a lot of decisions based on emotion, and that's
it's easier said than done.
Absolutely. You know,
and that's not even, well, that's actually kind of cool to hear, because you've been able to achieve some goals and move towards the success that, you know, you define for yourself.
Sure.
And even with that, you are still, you know, coming up short and, and not
absolutely.
necessarily not reacting, still getting it's part of being a human too. We can't be robots.
No
emotion, because then we wouldn't enjoy the things, you know,
absolutely,
that are so great.
And you have to. I think balance is another big piece of it.
Oh yeah.
You have to have true balance.
Balance,
and I struggle with that. I really struggle with that.
I get a little obsessive about something sometimes.
No doubt. We can sit here and say, you know, this is how you should do it, and maybe we need to be better in practice on our own ends, and I think that's obviously the case. But, you know, there's times where you need to kind of be the rock, right, and be forceful and kind of, you know, be hard about what you believe in. There's other times where you just need to be water, man, and you need to be fluid and let it, exactly, yeah. You need to let it wash over you. You know, you can't be desperate, and I've been desperate at times in my personal life, in my professional life, and it doesn't get you anywhere. No, you know, it actually pushes people and opportunities and things further away from you, and that's a really shitty feeling. It sucks.
It can kind of spiral.
And it does. And it's funny you bring up like the spiral thing. It's like, because the moment you kind of have this thought of, or it's an assumption that, you know, this is not, you know, it becomes that really terrible downward spiral, and it can get really out of control really quick.
So I think it's self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes.
Yep, 100%.
You have to kind of have those moments to stop yourself in that spiral.
That's mental strength.
It is.
That's just like, it's also like a confidence thing too.
Big time.
If you understand that it's not always going to work, but you believe in yourself, or you believe in the concept or the business that you're, you know, promoting, you can overcome all kinds of setbacks, you know, all kinds of, you know, walls you get around them. But
and I think confidence is a big thing. You know, you kind of have to be confident in your approach. You know, that's a big part of sales, right?
Yeah,
like,
it really is.
Confidence is a big part of sales. You know, and whether it's you know, true confidence, or it's just maybe a fake confidence that you kind of lean on. But
I tend to believe that people can see through, and you know what?
The good ones can.
Yeah.
The good ones can. I would agree.
That's why it's easy to sell something you believe in.
Yeah.
It's hard to sell something that you have to convince yourself it's a good idea.
Right. No, I think that's a really great point too.
Nobody has gone through life undefeated. Everybody's lost at some point.
Yep.
Whether it's a big loss or a small loss or something that didn't make any difference in the grand scheme of things, but nobody's gone undefeated.
Yeah.
The biggest winners are the ones that say, I lost, what happened, what do I do differently next time? And rather than labeling themselves as a loser, they just understand that winners lose too.
Yes.
And so
it's a great point.
That's something that took me a long time to get past.
Yeah.
I'm extremely competitive. I don't like losing, and it would get to the point where I'd hold on to it for days, fuming on Tuesday after they lost on a Sunday, and it's like,
why is this taking so much of my time and energy, right?
Yeah. So once you understand it, you can't go undefeated. Losses are actually something that the real winners accumulate a lot of.
Yes.
So if you accumulate a lot of losses, you're also accumulating a lot of lessons, a lot of experience, and it's going to translate to a win at some point.
The ability to be water when you don't want to,
Yeah, when you feel like a rock.
That's the challenge, right? But you got to kind of navigate that, and
that's where the skill is too, though. Like when you can do that in the situation where most people can't, is when you really start to set yourself apart. Not only, as a reflection of the other people, but you can internally be like, I can do this thing other people don't do.
Yeah.
That's
it's
that's
skill.
a really strong anchor point for building confidence too.
Absolutely.